Hey everybody, so just wanted to walk you through a little bit more in this section than what Dr. Berger was showing you in his examples. Not because he was wrong, but because we're combining a couple of different transformations in one section. So just wanted to make sure that you were able to kind of follow all the steps. It's really important that you read carefully, okay? So that's the first thing I will say, read carefully. Because the order, you guys, of these transformations really matters, okay? So as we're starting with this example B here, you've already read through example A, you've seen them do a reflection over a line and then a translation. This time, what we are going to be doing first is a rotation around a point P, okay? Then a translation along a vector. And if you're looking at the picture there, just be aware that if we were to put that vector in component form, it would look like 5, comma 1 in those square brackets because it goes over 5 and up 1. So let's keep that in mind. And then we are going to be reflecting across a line. So actually 3 transformations that we're doing in one. So this is why I wanted to walk you guys through this one a little bit more. If we slide over here to our graph, okay, the first thing we want to do is a rotation around point P. So now this is a little tricky because we don't have axes on here, but if we take point A and we think of rotating its path, which goes to the right 1 and down 2 to get there, and we were going to rotate that 180 degrees, we would just reverse both of those directions, because remember our coordinate rule is -x, -y for a 180-degree rotation. So if we go to the left first, like here, all right, we want to go, excuse me, if we go to the right first, then we want to go to the left first, next, okay? So to get to our image, I'm going to put that path in blue, but we're going to go left 1, and then where before we were going down 2 to get to A from point P, now we are going to go up 2 to get to A prime. So let's go ahead and put that in as a point there. This is going to be A prime. And then we're going to do the same thing with our paths from P to B and so on. So from B I went down 3 and over 1 from P to B. I'm going to go up 3 and over 1 the other direction to get to B prime. And then the same thing for C. All I had to do for C was go from P to the left 1. So I'm going to go from P to the right 1 to locate my C prime. And then we'll draw in that triangle. So that takes care of the first transformation, which is 180 degrees rotation around point P. Then each of these points is going to get translated along our vector. And remember, our vector back here was the vector 5, 1. So remember, that is from A prime, B prime, C prime. We're going to translate it along a vector. And we're going to be keeping this prime notation kind of going here by double primes, triple primes, and so on. When we're done, because we have 3 transformations, we're going to have a triple prime when we're finished. So we got 2 more stages to go. So each of these points for A, B, and C are going to go over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for A, and then up 1. So this point right here is going to be our A prime. And actually, sorry, our A double prime, you guys, okay? Same thing for B. We're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1. And we're going to put our B double prime there. Sorry about the messiness of my points. My stylus here doesn't always cooperate. And then we're going to go from the same direction on the same vector from C prime, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 1. Okay? So that is going to be this point right here, C double prime. Make our triangle. And now we've got 2 transformations done. Then the very last thing is we're going to need to reflect over this line L right here. So we know a reflection happens at a perpendicular distance. In this case, it is right on the grid lines, so I'm just going to count my distance. So C double prime is 1 away on top, so we're going to go 1 away below that line. B double prime is 1, 2, 3, 4 away, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 away down below line L. A double prime is 3 away, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3 away down below. And then don't forget your labels as you go there. So this is C 1, 2, 3 primes because we had 3 transformations. This is B 1, 2, 3 prime, and this is A 1, 2, 3 prime. Okay, so that is going to be a combination of rigid transformations there for B. In the next slide that you're going to see, we're going to do together the your turn number 7, and then you are going to be completely on your own for your turn number 8, but hopefully that'll help you get a little warmed up. Okay, make sure you've paused to reflect on questions 4 and 5 there, because it is important that you understand what these transformations do to the figure, as well as what the sequence of transformations can do in a different order, possibly. So just reflect on those 2 questions, okay, before we get started. We're going to do, though, your turn number 7 together here, because this is, again, just another type of transformation that we are going to be doing, a sequence of rigid transformations. So I wanted to walk you through this one, and then on number 8, you're on your own, okay? So for number 7, we're going to reflect across the line L, and then we're going to do a 90-degree rotation. So reflection first, and then the 90-degree rotation. Remember, that is a counterclockwise. If we're not specifying the direction of rotation, it's always counterclockwise. So we're going to go around that line L first. So C is going to land C prime over here. A is going to land A prime over here. And B reflects to B prime there. So if I draw my triangle in, again, sorry about it being a little off the grid lines with my stylus here, I can't be as exact, but you get the idea, okay? So that's one part done, and then we're going to rotate. So remember what we talked about, we're going to turn our book. And we're going to turn our book this 90-degree counterclockwise rotation here. So here's what your next slide will look like. This is your book turned, okay? And now remember, what we're going to do is we're going to write down what the new points would be for A, B, and C. And remember, we're trying to take this right here and reflect it around, rotate, excuse me. We've already reflected it, so we want to rotate this triangle around point P. So you guys, what I would suggest is that you kind of think of there being axes drawn, the X and Y axes, so that we're going to think of P as kind of like the origin, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take A prime, B prime, C prime, and we're going to find a second transformation for it. So I'm going to start by making those all double primes where they land. And we're going to see what the coordinates are if we were to think of this as our X and Y axis now, okay? So just like we did before with rotations, only we're going to concentrate on the blue triangle and figuring out its coordinates. So this point right here, C prime, looks like it would be over 1 and up 1, 2, 3. So -1, +3 is going to be the coordinates for C double prime. For B double prime, we are going to get over 1, 2, 3, 4, and up that 3, the same line that it's on for C prime, so that makes sense. So we're at -4, +3. And then our A double prime is going to be, again, only over 1 to the left, just like C prime was. But this time we're going to go a little higher, so -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to locate us at our A prime there. Okay, so now I'm going to turn my book back, and I'm going to plot those points, and that will be my final triangle. I think it makes sense to kind of draw and then maybe even shade in the final product, so I'll show you what that looks like back on the other slide here. Okay, we've got our list of points. Remember, A double prime was -1, +5. B double prime was negative 4, 3, and C double prime was negative 1, 3. So at this point, you guys, we've got our list of points. What we want to do is, again, with respect to our axes here, which I've drawn in for us, and our coordinate P, we'll say the coordinates of P are 0, 0. We're going to plot these books from when we turned, plot these points from when we turned the book at this point, and I'm going to do it finally here in red for our final transformation here. So A double prime is at negative 1, positive 5. That is going to be right here over 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. So put a label on that. That is A double prime. B double prime is going to be at negative 4, 3. That's going to land us here. Again, remember that's in relation to our origin point, okay? So negative 4, left 4, and up 3. And that is B double prime. And then C double prime is going to be at negative 1, positive 3. So again, you can see this right triangle taking shape just like it was when it started. And here we are with our finished transformation. So like I said, when you're done, might make some sense to just kind of shade in the end triangle so that I know you know where the final product should be. Okay, hope that helps a little bit, get you warmed up into the Your Turn 8. Be aware that in Your Turn 8 there are 3 transformations happening, so you should be at A, B, and C, or I guess they do E, F, and G triple prime for that one by the time you're done. Good luck!